Now, you guys know that I don't get big videos out from time to time, but this time it's going to be a little different. This time, I've been working on something nice, something juicy for you guys, well, at least in my opinion. As you guys know, 2022 has been upon us for almost a week, and I felt like I should give you something new, something a little cool, something to look back at from 2021, and here it is. It's my first 10 of the top 20 things that came out in 2021. So without further ado, let's get some popcorn, let's grab your bags of Skittles, and let's get down with this shit. Now, of course, there's going to be movies, TV shows, and some video games on this list. This is not something I really categorized really well, but, you know, it is a best of 2021 from my point of view, so, you know, there are some video games, there are a lot of movies and a lot of TV shows, so yeah, there's really no scoring here. It's just what I felt was really good this last year. What can I say about Black Widow? Was it a disappointment? Yes. Is this the third time me recording this? Yes. Do I just want to get it over with? Yes. Black Widow was a fun ride, but it was worse than Thor: The Dark World, and yes, I will stand by that forever. Now, the actors are having good times and all that stuff, which means I will most definitely have a good time, but I have no genuine interest in watching this movie again. It was just that disappointing. And what sucks is that there's better projects on this. A lot of them. So good job, Marvel. You didn't really impress me here. Lower Decks Season 2. What can I say about this season of Star Trek Lower Decks? It was good. It's just not as good as the other things on this list. And that's what I say about everything. For one thing, Star Trek is famous for its cliffhanger season endings, and this one's no different. It does have a cliffhanger ending, and I'm very upset about it. In terms of lessons learned by the characters, nothing really changes. I mean, most of the characters just do the same thing they did last season, and I just hope to God in Season 3 that there's some character development, because these characters have been static for 2 seasons already, and I hope they don't stay the same. All in all, I thought Season 2 was a damn good ride, and I can't wait for what they bring to the table in Season 3. There's not much I can say about My Hero Academia World Heroes mission. It kind of was just that one thing I was dragged along to see, but I was also kind of very interested because I just started watching the actual anime. Was it fun? Yes. Was it a good time? Oh, hell yeah. Is it as good as other things on this list? No, but hey, at least I'm putting it on this list. That's where it counts. I thought it was a damn good ride, and it was definitely better than Black Widow and Lower Decks. I'll just give it that. So if you haven't seen it, and you're interested in watching something new or something interesting, just, you know, I would consider watching it. It's pretty good. Go ahead. Have a ball. That's all I can really say. From Nintendo in collaboration with Game Freak comes the Diamond and Pearl remakes. We've waited long enough and now they're here, and what's the verdict? It's pretty meh, I should say. Now, from the time I've played the game, it's been kind of just been like, oh, I just remember this, oh, just nostalgia, oh, this, oh, that, and nothing new and exciting. The disappointing part was that they had no Mega Evolutions, no new mechanics, nothing. It's just a better version of Diamond and Pearl. And really, if I'm going to be honest, I would just recommend if you wanted to play a remake of Diamond and Pearl, just play Platinum. And really, they should have just remade Platinum, and everybody would have been happy, including myself. So, you know, there's that. So, in summary, it's not a bad remake, but it's not a good remake. It's not Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, where they actually tried to do something new. It's not Heart Gold Soul Silver, where it was just amazing. It was just meh. What can I say about Falcon and the Winter Soldier? Well, it's incredibly safe. It's good, but it's safe. Now, I can tell that they were trying to live off the hype of, you know, the movies like Captain America, the First Avenger, you know, Captain America, the Winter Soldier, and Captain America Civil War, trying to make things like more of a political commentary, and you know, that's what Captain America is. But this time, I felt it got in the way of the actual narrative. Like, every second was filled with some sort of political commentary when there really didn't need to be one. Some of the political commentary points in the show actually made sense, and it actually worked as an advantage to the show itself. Now, in terms of what I liked from the show, everybody did a great job playing their characters. Anthony Mackie as Falcon, Sebastian Stan as Bucky, and you know, Wyatt Russell was fantastic as U.S. Agent, and I cannot wait to see more of him in the future. And all around, all the other characters in the show were just really good, because like, there are so many characters that are introduced, and it sort of just brings in this whole grounded look at the MCU after the snap. And that's sort of what a lot of people have been looking for. Now, some might disagree with me, say this is probably one of the worst shows of the MCU so far. I think it's one of the better ones, and also some of them are actually better than this, but I personally enjoyed this grounded version of the MCU, and it was way better than Black Widow, and I cannot wait to see what they'll do with Falcon and Bucky Barnes. But other than that, that's all I really got to say about Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I thought it was fantastic, and it was a nice step in the right direction for a grounded MCU. That's all I can really say. Lucasfilm, you have let me down and also given me something to talk about with Star Wars Visions. Now it's good. It's really good. I finished it, and I'm very upset that it's not canon. Star Wars Visions is a show made by Lucasfilm that is mostly done in an anime type style. And for the most part, I really enjoyed it. There were some episodes that were boring, some episodes that were exciting. It was just a way to show the audience that, hey, we can do this. And by golly, they can do it. For one, this is something that Star Wars sorely needs. It's really good at establishing a universe and building upon a universe that already exists. It's just too bad that it's not canon. And it's a shame, too, because, like, this could go anywhere. All of these things could go literally anywhere in the Star Wars universe, and it wouldn't affect the canon at all. That's the part that I'm the most disappointed about. That's why it's so low on my list, because it isn't canon, and it's so sad. If Lucasfilm had made this canon, it probably would have been higher on my list. But as it is now, it's not canon, and it will never be canon, and that's why it's here on my list right here. Is it amazing? Yes. Should you watch it? Yes. But don't expect to get any other kind of enjoyment out of it, like in terms of canon-wise and how it affects the Star Wars universe. Marvel is totally misunderstood in terms of this movie, because I thought this movie was actually pretty good, but the critics tend to disagree. Now, there isn't really much to say about this movie, as it is just a reintroduction into the Celestials and the cosmic side of the MCU, maybe something to set up Galactus or something even bigger down the line. However, I still think this movie gets a bad rap, mostly due to the fact that it's so long. There is no reason why this movie had to be so long, and it made the movie so much less bearable as time went by. Now, this movie has something I would call Rogue One syndrome, where I don't remember the characters, but I remember the movie itself. It was good enough for me to remember the movie, but it wasn't quite good enough for me to remember the characters. And that's my problem with Eternals. The characters are forgettable. And it's really sad too, because I really enjoy these characters. I just can't wrap my head around their names. I can't figure out who they are half the time. But in terms of the movie itself, I thought it was enjoyable. I thought the plot was fantastic, and it really shows a side of humanity that, you know, no other Marvel movie could, because it shows humanity from an outsider perspective. We don't see ourselves from an outside perspective most of the time, and that's something that a lot of movies tend to not do, and when they do that, it ends up just looking terrible. Unless you're a fantastic director that somehow manages to, like, capture what it means to be human while not being human. So in terms of, like, a quick review, I would say it was good. It just wasn't quite good enough. And I personally just don't want to go further, because there's so much more that I want to talk about on this list. And I'm pretty sure you want to see on this list as well. I was expecting this movie to be a lot better. It was alright, but it just wasn't quite as good as I thought it would be. The Matrix Resurrections is pretty much what The Force Awakens did to Star Wars. It was alright, it just wasn't quite the same. It felt like there was something off about this movie, and there was. It was still good, but at the end of the day, it kind of just felt like a rehash of the first film, you know, except instead of Neo being the one, it's Trinity being the one. There are some concepts that I truly enjoyed, like the idea that humans and machines are now coexisting together in some aspects. There's just a lot of things to take away from this film. And also the fact that the movie was incredibly meta with itself. At the end of the day, what I can take away from this film with a quick sort of review, it just felt like a rehash. And at the end of the day, you know, rehashes are fine, except try to do something different with it, and they did do something different with it. They made Trinity the vital part of the film, and that's something I actually kind of liked, because Trinity was a vital part of Neo's story in the first trilogy. And now, we're seeing that Trinity has powers too, and that's something I kinda like. Now, the big question is, how does The Matrix Resurrections fare against Reloaded and Revolutions? Well, that's a simple question to answer. I think Resurrections does a much better job being a movie than Reloaded and Revolutions. I mean, not to say that Reloaded and Revolutions were good movies. I mean, they were decent. But I think Resurrections was just better in every aspect. Did this movie need to be made? No. But I think Warner Brothers was going to do it with or without the Wachowskis, and that's the part that scares me. And, well, here we are. We got a subpar Matrix sequel. Okay, Venom Let There Be Carnage was pretty good. You cannot tell me you didn't have a good time watching this movie. This movie was laughably bad at some points, but it still was enjoyable. And also, it was Andy Serkis's first time, sort of directing a big Marvel movie like this. And I really thought he did a decent job. Of course, it's a Venom movie, so you gotta make fun of Eddie Brock and Venom and, Cletus Cassidy and Carnage now. And it's just so laughably bad that, it's good. And I don't understand how these spin-off Marvel movies work, like the ones that are produced by Sony and not Marvel Studios. I don't know how it works, because somehow, some way, these movies make money. They're so bad. They're like the Transformers equivalent of Marvel films. They're so bad that they're good. And I just thought this movie was more enjoyable than The Matrix Resurrections. I mean, obviously there are some problems. Pacing-wise, it's a very fast-paced movie. Half the time, there are some things that are going on that are just like, why is this happening? And, well, sometimes you just gotta go with it. I mean, to be honest, the best part was Carnage in the film. I mean, Woody Harrelson did a fantastic job, and so did Tom Hardy, of course. Nothing but the best from Tom Hardy. And also, this movie brought Venom into the MCU for however long that was. If you haven't seen Spider-Man, just don't question it. It's pretty funny. In terms of, how I felt about the film, I thought it was enjoyable. I cannot wait for what they do in Venom 3. Please have Spider-Man in it, whether it be Andrew Garfield or Tom Holland or whoever the hell they want as Spider-Man. Hopefully it's Andrew Garfield. Andrew Garfield still needs to fight his Venom. But anyways, that's kind of all I have for Venom Let There Be Carnage. It's alright. What If is the first animated Marvel TV series produced by Marvel Studios. It goes into a what-if scenario for special stories like Tony Stark, what if he survived? T'Challa, what if he became Star-Lord? Thor, what if he was Bro Thor? I think it's really cool, and personally, I cannot wait for Season 2. Now, this is an adaptation of the comic series of the same name, where they take an aspect of a comic book series and they switch it a tiny bit to see what the outcome might be. Now, most of these are purely fictional. There's no cause and effect, but, it works really well in comic books because it just makes your mind wonder. It makes your mind wonder, oh, what if this happened? What if this happened? And it's really cool, and I'm so glad that Marvel Studios had decided to bring this into the MCU. Of course, I can't talk about What If without bringing up Jeffrey Wright as the Watcher. He was fantastic. And not just that, everybody in this series was just fantastic. All the people coming back to voice their characters, they did a fantastic job, and they did a really good job animating this too. The Marvel Studios team did a really good job working on this show, and like I said, I can't wait for what they do in Season 2. But what is the critique? Well, it was too short. I think it could have had a few more episodes just to build up the final fight. I mean, I liked all the characters coming together and fighting this multiverse Ultron. But in terms of, stories, they didn't really go into the Gamora being the strongest person in the universe arc that we were hoping for. And it really disappoints me because she was, vital in destroying Ultron. However, other than that, I thought it was a really good show, and I can't wait for what they do next. Well, that's it for my first 10. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, be sure to like and subscribe. Now, I will go over honorable mentions for this video, as time permits, but that will be closer towards the end of part 2. Like I said, hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, like it, subscribe, dislike it, comment. Tell me I'm wrong. Do what you want. I don't care. I had a lot of fun making this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. So anyways, dudes, peace out.